This is Mike Trueblood, sports editor of the Galesburg Register-Mail. We're here talking this week again with Galesburg head basketball coach Mike Reynolds as the streaks continue in the Western Big Six Conference. Started out 5-0 in their tourney, and as you said after the game, it's a season of peaks and valleys. You hit a little bit of a valley Friday night against Rock Island. Had a great start, and then not so good in the third quarter, and suffered a loss. And you get back to it on Friday at United Township, and then come home Saturday on the non-conference game with Morton. So in reflection, looking back, having some time to think about it and look at film, maybe how does that game look to you a few days later?
Well, it's, we played okay in a couple quarters. We won 2 of the 4 quarters. It just didn't play real well in the third, and they were able to push a big enough lead to hold on. And it was frustrating because I think we had a pretty good plan, and with a little better execution and a little better 4 or 5 minute stretch there in the third quarter would have been a tough ball game.
I thought things really shaped up in the first half. It was a pretty good matchup there for a while. And then one thing I did notice about Rocky, and I guess it should be no surprise, they've got some pretty athletic athletes, and it's typical for them, and it looks a lot of those young ones are probably going to come on as the season wears on. Yeah,
I mean, they're long and athletic. They've got one of the best point guards in the area, and their shooting guard's pretty good, and they've got one experienced big guy and another really big young guy, and their best basketball certainly ahead of them, and we hope ours is too.
Okay, going against United Township on Friday night, they suffered a loss. One of the first Big Six teams from up there in the cities that got back into Morris Gym and suffered a loss last Friday. I'm sure you were able to maybe take a look at some film from that game. What did you see that happened to them at Don Morris last Friday?
Well, I think there was a lot of emotion certainly for Allman playing there, and like a lot of teams that go into Don Morris Gym, it's a choppy affair. It's real physical. It's loud. It's hot. We've been used to that. Quincy's used to that.
Did you say welcome to our world?
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know if I said that because we're going to get into that world here in another week. So we hope they just run all the magic out of it before we get there. But it was an interesting game, and I've seen enough tape on UT this year. They've played at times a lot better than they did on Friday, just like we have. I think it'll be a pretty even match when we get up there.
What have you seen from UT that impressed you, or you have to respect going into Friday?
Well, I think they've got 2 really good guards that can shoot it and handle it, and then they've got a couple other shooters that come off the bench that they can play. They've got some athletic wing players, and they always play. They play their zone, their matchup zone, and do a lot of different things with that. So that'll be our focus as the week goes on, and see if we can find the spell to crack that zone.
What do you know about Morton coming in here on Saturday?
Well, I watched them on a late game on Saturday. It was a long weekend of basketball, but they have, they beat us last year. We went there on the road, and they beat us right there at the end, and it's going to be a hotly contested game again. I think they've got a really good post player, a really good wing player, and a really good point guard. So they mix some other guys in with those guys, and it's going to be a physical, rough game. I would suspect that's the way they kind of play, and we're not against playing that way either. So it should be a fun matchup.
Well, thanks, Coach. I hope you jump right back on the horse that threw you and get back on the winning side of the Big Six win column, and have a good weekend.
All right, thank you.